Let's get to our next topic, sticking with the Browns, guys. But first, a quick word from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Summer sports are in full swing. Whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. You're already following the action, so why not make it a little more thrilling? With FanDuel, you can get in on the game from anywhere, anytime, even if you're at the beach. If you're new to FanDuel, you can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if that first $5 bet wins. That is a new customer-only promo. Open up the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to get started. Tomorrow morning, before the game kicks off, we will learn which of the other starters will play, which ones will sit. Kevin Stefanski said, by and large, most starters will sit in this game. He is referring more to the offense than the defense, but knowing how Kevin Stefanski has handled the preseason in the past and going off his comments yesterday, I think it's fair to assume that probably more than 50% of the starters will sit. So I want to, as a collection here, go through the offense then the defense and make our predictions on which
Before
starters
we do that, Mike,
I
I think Kevin Stefanski doesn't play his players enough in the preseason. I think this has been a consistent issue. I like that he seems to be having a little bit of a tougher training camp this year. There's been more physical play. There's been actually live tackling, which he's never done before. But I don't get it. Like, I understand why Joel Bitonio or Myles Garrett or Denzel Ward would not play in a preseason game. I get it. But why is Cedric Tillman not playing in a preseason game? That doesn't make any sense.
He's made out of paper.
You know what? If you're that weak that you can't make it through two series in a preseason game, then you're never going to succeed in the NFL. I mean, it's just that simple. This idea that, well, he can't make it through 2 series in the preseason, so we got to sit him. Well, what's the point? Replace him if he's that fragile.
I mean, you got a lot of time. I don't know. Like I said, it still hasn't been.
You're going to put him out there, have him be the only starter out there?
I wouldn't have him be. I would start other guys. I mean, I don't know. Like, is Jerome Ford going to play? Is Dillon Sampson going to play?
We don't know. That's why we're going to do the
I've been playing those guys. Okay, come on.
So we know Shedeur starting at quarterback. The rest aren't playing. Let's go to the running back position. Bull. We'll start with who do you think will play, and then who do you think
Do I need a depth chart in front of me, or are you going to tell us?
He's going to tell us.
I can tell you guys. Yeah, the running back depth chart
I think.
Tomorrow.
I mean, you never know with the Browns and Stefanski. I think Dillon Sampson and Jerome Ford should play. Dillon Sampson absolutely should play in this game.
Oh, he is.
Jerome Ford should too. I mean, I think they'll both play. I feel more confident that Sampson will play than Ford, but I would play them both. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I would have to know what the starting line is. If the starting line is playing, I would play Jerome Ford. If they're not playing, and you got people with bits and pieces in there, then I wouldn't play Jerome Ford, and I'd play. My running backs would be Sampson, Strong, and the
Toa.
Yeah.
Tuawa. What about, there's another running back that undrafted that Zach was mentioning. I can't think of his name, though.
Amani Marshall.
That might be it. Yeah, I think so.
He's going to play, too.
Well, they signed Travion Henderson also.
No, they didn't.
Not
Travion Williams.
Quinshawn Judkins.
Travion Williams.
No, Trayvon Williams.
Trayvon Williams used to be on the Bengals, so I changed his name to a Buckeye back.
To say, no, they did not.
But wait a second. Why would you – you're not going to play –
Ford's the only back you know
you
don't need
to see
Like,
him.
you don't know what Judkins' situation is going to be.
Yeah.
Sampson, those other dudes. I mean, Strong's an old head. I mean,
I don't need to see Ford.
Yeah, I just think
I need to see everybody else before.
We know Ford's an established, legitimate NFL running back. What do we need to gain by putting him out there and seeing a couple carries against the Panthers back?
Okay.
He's been your RB1
in
like 2 years.
He's proven.
But isn't there something to be said for guys getting ready for the season by playing in the preseason?
Running backs is different.
Okay.
Like, it's something about running backs in the preseason where you don't never really play.
I also think it's something to be said for running backs. It's like there's a weird subconscious thing about playing in the game that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And you're like not that you're scared to get hurt, but you sort of know that you're risking injury by playing in a game.
Yeah.
That absolutely has no bearing on your career or on the season or anything. Because I just think it's too much risk.
Ford no play, but you're playing Dillon.
The rest play.
Play the rookie.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, at receiver, we know Tillman and Judy are out. That leaves Jamari Thrash, Deontay Johnson, DeAndre Carter, And
They're all going to play, Mike.
Every last one.
All those guys.
Every last one of them.
Yes,
You
we'll
know
move
what?
on.
I mean,
Every last one
I
of
think
them.
Cedric Tillman's done far too little at this point to not be playing, but he's not going to play. But the rest of those guys are all completely unproven except for Deontay Johnson, and he's got to play.
Who is behind Tillman as a receiver?
Thrash.
You have Thrash, Caden Davis, Deontay Johnson, DeAndre Carter, Luke
But
Floria.
see, some of them is like slots. He plays like X. Like,
Technically, on the Our Lads depth chart at the X receiver position behind Cedric Tillman is Caden Davis.
that's my point.
I never even heard of Caden.
See,
Davis. Who is Caden
Thrash
Davis?
and Johnson are,
Okay.
and Carter is all
Are
slots.
slot guys. Yeah. So who's Caden Davis? Do you guys even know who he is?
Street free agent from Northwest Missouri State, white kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is what
got two white kids. You got the kid from Cleveland.
And this is the problem.
Floria.
This right
He's in
here
Denver
is
for a
what's
little
been
bit,
wrong
Arizona
with the
practice
whole
squad.
training camp, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
We ain't got no receivers.
No.
So, like, I can't never tell if Dillon, Shedeur, or any of them is good because the receivers is dudes that ain't probably going to be in the league.
Well, I
after
mean,
this.
listen, Jerry Judy's good.
How many times have you seen Shedeur Sanders throw?
He hasn't thrown to him at all.
Okay.
Cedric Tillman has potential, but he's barely played in the preseason. Deontay Johnson's been a good receiver.
He's
in the
actually
league.
from what I've seen,
Yeah.
he's been tearing it up.
And the rest of the room are zeros till proven otherwise.
Yes, pretty much.
I mean,
yeah.
so
Shout out my boy D. Carter, though.
I mean,
Talked to him last
Deontay Johnson's going to be on this team unless he's still doing the same stupid things that got him cut from every other team, which have less to do with on the field, I guess, than his attitude, or I don't know what it is that's, but when good organizations continuously cut you, that's a bad sign. So I don't know if he's matured there. We haven't seen him a ton either. So he's got to play.
So let's go to tight end.
Yeah.
And Njoku's going to sit, I assume.
Yeah.
Everyone else you're playing, right?
Yes.
Fannon's got to play.
Yeah.
Whitehart. Offensive line.
By the way, on Fannon, Zach was saying, I don't know if you talked to Zach about Fannon.
We talked today.
Yeah, he's very optimistic about Fannon.
He didn't mention Fannon, but that's good. He did
Yeah,
say
he
that.
told me, he was saying, like, hey, I think Fannon's going to be a big part of the offense.
Good. Love it.
And he's going to get a lot of opportunities. I mean, obviously, Fannon came in as a
kid.
The kid's
very raw prospect.
He's a
but-
raw prospect, but he's a workhorse, and
Yeah.
he'll do. I mean, there were teams in the MAC that knew he was going to get the ball.
Yeah.
He was targeted like
And
some
they had
games-
nobody else,
some-
right?
I mean, nobody.
Yeah.
They would throw to him like 25 times a game.
Jeez.
I mean, I'm not even exaggerating. There
That's
was a game
crazy.
last year he was targeted in the 20s.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, and we know Kevin Stefanski likes using two tight end sets.
Well, dude, the guy
he hasn't had a good second tight end.
Here's the other thing that's really cool
Yeah.
about Fannon, and if people didn't watch the MAC last year, you don't know this, but like they didn't have a great offense.
Yeah.
And so they would put him in the wildcat tailback position, and he'd run it in.
really?
Oh yeah. So like goal line situations, Harold Fannon can absolutely come into the game.
Yeah.
And be that whatever. I mean, you could do the tush push.
Oh,
with him
yeah,
if you
there
want
you go.
to.
There it is.
Yeah.
How many carries did he have roughly? Do you have any idea?
Off the top of my head,
Mike, do you know?
I'd guess north of
me one sec.
30 something carries.
That's receptions. Okay. He's not that tall, right? But he's a thick guy. I mean,
Yeah,
Is he not
he's a
that
load.
tall?
I don't think he's that tall.
He's listed at 6'4", 230.
Okay,
Oh,
that's
wow.
what I thought.
He's
I was
taller
about
than
to
I
say
thought.
he looked like he like 6'4".
Yeah, all right. He didn't seem that tall in those pictures, but
Harold Fannon last year had 117 catches.
yeah.
He had 9 carries.
That's it? Okay.
Yeah, just
well, I
nine.
mean, I know they put him back. He actually threw.
But
How many
still.
passes did he throw, by the way? He threw the ball a few times, too. I'm just telling you.
He threw 2 passes last year.
Still,
One for
I mean,
two,
most
9
tight ends get
yards.
0 carries. He had 9. So
Brock Bowers was the first tight end I ever seen get some carries
Yeah.
at Georgia. They was doing that same thing, giving them that jet sweep.
Point is, the guy can do a lot of different things.
Yeah, all right.
I'm a little biased.
Yeah,
obviously.
I'm excited to see him. I
am too.
He's one of the guys I'm really looking forward to seeing
You
tomorrow.
gonna take him in fantasy?
I actually,
Why not?
in this deep dynasty league that I did, I drafted him. I actually drafted Dillon Sampson and Harold Fannon back to back in either the 3rd or 4th round of this.
Who's your
rookie
starting
draft.
tight end now?
I have Brock Bowers.
Smart. You ain't gonna use him there. Go
Let's
ahead.
let's go to the offensive line. Any one of the normal starters you think plays tomorrow? Boy, you mentioned DeJuan
No.
Jones is a possibility.
I think DeJuan might play. I don't think any of the other guys are going to play. You're not playing. No way Batonio plays.
You
Conklin's
say
not playing.
They starting defense is playing.
Yes.
Their starting defense is going to play a series or two. Dave Canales confirmed that.
I could see DeWine taking the series.
I think so.
I can see him taking this.
I don't think any of the others. You guys think any of the others are going to play?
No, Joe Batonio, not a chance.
No.
All of them are old.
I mean, Conklin's old.
Yeah, every last one
the
of them.
The youngest of the
Yeah.
rest of them is either Teller or what's his name?
Pochich. I think Pochich is a year younger.
But they're both like 30.
Yeah,
Those guys ain't playing.
DeWine maybe. And if the other four ain't playing, he probably might not either.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to defense.
Yeah.
So no Miles. We did hear that already. He's not going to play.
When's the last time Myles Garrett played a preseason game?
I'll look that up.
Year.
Elsewhere along the defensive line, Mason Graham is going to play.
He has no choice.
Yeah, sure.
Malik Collins, defensive tackle.
Isn't he 30?
I think he's 29.
I'm not. I don't
He
think
ain't
he's gonna
playing.
play.
He ain't playing. Wait, is Mike
opposite?
Hall playing? Is practicing yet?
No, he's still on the
So
PUP.
Mike Hall's out. Are you playing Malik Collins?
They might have to play him.
Yeah, sure.
They might have to because Shelby like 33.
They have Jawan Briggs and Sam Kamara.
Those guys will definitely play.
They'll definitely play.
Yeah.
The opposite defensive end position where Miles, opposite of Miles.
Alex Wright,
McGuire, Joe Tyron Smith, or Joe Toyonka Smith, JTS, the guy they signed. Are they all playing in your mind?
I would play them all.
I play them all.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Linebackers.
Yeah.
Schlesinger's definitely going to play.
Obviously, yeah.
Does Jerome Baker play? Diabate.
Yeah.
I'd play them all.
They all going to play.
Yeah.
They all are still pretty young.
Yeah.
I would honestly play my entire starting defense outside of Miles, Denzel. Probably play Newsome just because there's been probably not play
Newsome's
Newsome
banged up, right?
Just because he's banged up and there's been so many injuries at corner. I wouldn't play him either. And then maybe one of the veteran D tackles. That's about it.
You know what's funny? We sit here and talk about this. You remember, wasn't it last year that they had like the list of people not playing was like dang near 40 players?
Yeah.
So they sit there like, well, who is playing?
Right.
If they put that, I can see them pulling
the same thing's going to happen,
I
probably.
can see them pulling that again.
Inactive.
But my thing is, you see how it didn't work. So why would you do the same thing
I know.
again? Like, that make no sense.
Is everyone else in agreement with Bull that outside of Denzel and Miles, everyone else? Did you say anyone else?
I would not play Greg Newsome either because he's a little banged up in the secondary.
He only played
right, so I wouldn't play those three.
He's out.
I don't know about what I play. Delpit.
I would not.
Yeah, I guess not.
I mean, he's had injuries every year, and he finally seems like he's healthy
Who's
again.
his backup? Don't they got
Delpit?
What's the dude that played for the Jaguars?
They have a couple safeties.
What's his name?
Rayshawn Jenkins.
That's him right there.
Casey threw a punch in practice yesterday, so I assume he's going to
play. I would sit Newsome, Delpit, Denzel, Myles Garrett, and probably Shelby Harris, and maybe one other veteran defensive tackle, and I'd play everybody else.